Hi everyone, welcome to another video of Superset tutorial series. So today we'll be discussing mainly three things. Very brief overview of Superset settings. We'll explore some of the dashboard features, but most of the time we'll be spending on customizing dashboards using CSS, which is very important feature when it comes to open source or Superset. This feature, for example, is not available in Metabase out of box unless you are a pro subscriber, and even if you're a pro subscriber, it's very limited customization you can do. But before we start, I just want to highlight that there are three videos already out there. If you're new to Superset, if you're new to BI, so please have a look at introduction to BI video, how to set up Superset on your desktop using Docker, or if you want to connect Superset to your external database, there are three very detailed videos out there, so feel free to explore. So as I said, we'll discuss briefly setting dashboard features, and most of the time we'll be spending on customizing the dashboard. So this we have selected this sales dashboard. This is how it looks like currently. As you can see, there's a Superset logo there. There are a few other things which are missing. So we'll change this dashboard to this. So this doesn't look very pretty, but I have intentionally used these color schemes to exaggerate, so you can see the difference between the two dashboards. For example, we have a key logo there. There's a header sales dashboard. We have changed the color scheme, and we'll go through in detail how to do that. So let's get started. So let's go to the Superset. Right. So this is Superset. If you've already watched the previous video, you must be familiar with the setup. So this is the sales dashboard. So this is I've just made a copy of this is the original sales dashboard, and I've just made a copy of a new dashboard, so we can customize it. So let's quickly explore how the dashboard looks like. So so you're familiar with these four tabs on top. So dashboard, where you can select various dashboards, and then of course the charts, where you have all the charts you created will appear here. All the data sets you have created would appear here, and then there's SQL Lab and the save queries. We will explore in coming days in more detail how to use the queries, the SQL queries. But today we are going to focus on the right side of the dashboard. So on the right side, if you want to create a new, the data set, or you want to connect to the CSV or in Excel, and then if you want to search for query, create a new chart or dashboard, so there's the option here. But let's focus on settings, right? So settings are very important for this dashboard. So let's spend the next couple of minutes exploring the settings, and then we'll move to customization. So in setting, there are, the first option is list users. So here you can create new users, you can delete users, you can modify users, you can assign them different role, etc. Right. So if you want to create a new user, just click here, and it will. You need to fill in the details, and all the users, new user will be created. Right. It's very easy. And then the next setting is the list of roles. So there are various roles by default in Superset. You can see admin, public, alpha, gamma, SQL lab. And you can create any new role. You can name it whatever you want to, and you can assign permissions. So let's for example go through admin. So you can see admin has multiple permissions. They can do whatever they want to do. They can create users, they can create connect APIs, they can create database, they can delete data set, they can do whatever they want to do. So you can create whatever role you want to do. You can assign them custom authorizations or permissions. But by default, you'll see admin, public, alpha, and gamma. So admin would have a full access to all the features. Alpha can create dashboards and charts, but cannot manage users. So alpha is max. The gamma is only read-only access, and public is of course a default role for non-logged in users. So if you want to share this dashboard with anyone, so make sure that dashboard has a public access. Otherwise, they won't be able to access it. Action log would the list all the actions, whatever users have done. You can go to the log. Uh, this is again we'll explore in detail in coming days. The role level security is if there are multiple users, for example, if they are salesperson managing different regions, if you want person A to just view the data from the region A, so you can add row level permissions here, row level security. So you can assign, you can give access to the data based on um, the, the roles. Database connections, we went in quite detail the last video. If you want to understand, there's a very detailed video walkthrough how to connect to the database. So I encourage you to go through that video. CSS templates we'll discover in a minute. And then we have annotation layers. The annotation layer is, for example, if there's, you can create an event, and then, if you want to create a marker, again, we will discuss in more detail in coming days with practical examples. Then we have user info. You can change the name, the user, you can change the password, everything very simple. And then of course, you can log out. So that is setting. Now let's select the dashboard. And other setting, so this is the main global setting. Then if you click on edit dashboard, there are a few options here, right? So the options are to add charts, of course, and the layouts, tab, the rows, the column, the header, etc. But let's explore, properties, things here. So here are the properties of the dashboard. So you can change the name of the dashboard. You can give access, as I said earlier, if you want to give access to public users, you need to add public here. You can add certification. This is all the JSON metadata here. You can change the color scheme. For example, you want to change modern, sunset, etc. And you can create URL slug to, which is readable. And then the next setting is CSS, which will go in a bit more detail. Then you can save as, you can download, you can export it to PDF or image, you can embed it. So if you want to, this is the copy form a link to, if you want to share the dashboard. Here's another important setting of auto refreshes. So you can set the frequency, how frequent you want this dashboard to be refreshed, so it will automatically fetch the data and refresh it, or you can manually refresh it. So that was the brief overview of the setting, global setting and edit dashboard setting. Let's go through now, moving into part 3, or main part of the dashboard, where we want to customize the color scheme and all the things. So let's first go to the main setting and go to CSS templates. So there are two ways you can change the CSS. You can create a CSS template, which is a global, and you can apply that to multiple dashboards. For example, here I have blue gradient, balance shadow, classic, career black, etc., etc. So I can edit it. You can see there's a CSS code in each of it, and you can create a new template. And the CSS code is very, it's very similar to the normal CSS code you do. So you can create a template, you can save it, like we have done this. And then if you go, for example, edit dashboard and then edit CSS, right? So you can write CSS here, or you can load a CSS template. For example, if you want to load flat, right, or career black. So you can see that the background is changing, or classic, right, or ocean bottom, right, balance shadow. So whatever the code template you'll select, what it'll do is basically it will copy all the CSS here, right, and then you can add more. Or if you want to change the CSS in the template, you can go back to the template and change over there. um, Tender pink, right. So let's delete this because we want to go through a few things, right. So this is back to normal. Now before you start applying CSS, you need to understand how to identify the relevant element. For example, so let's start by adding a header, right. So I want to add a header here. So it's simple as drag and drop. So I can name it sales dashboard for financial year 2024, right. Okay, that's it. Save, or maybe edit, and I can increase or decrease the size and change the color, etc. Right. So here you go. I've changed it to white, so it's all same. Right. So now you want to understand how do I apply CSS to this particular title, right? So you go here, make sure you're using either Chrome or Edge to and go to inspect. So then you need to identify the relevant component, relevant class. For example, if I go here, I can tell this is called editable title, right? Um, Dashboard component and dashboard component header. These are the relevant classes, right? So if you want to apply CSS, you need to know which class you are applying CSS to. Otherwise, you will not be able to execute it now. Sometimes it's a bit tricky. So sometimes, so what you need to do is basically, it's because they could be titles, multiple classes used multiple times across different charts or pages, etc. Right? So maybe you want to have a different setting for the page one and different setting for the page two. So you can also change the class, of course. But you need to identify the class, so you need to identify the relevant element to be able to apply the CSS. So let's. So I've already copied CSS. So let me one by one go through it. So first, I think we need to let's change the background color of the body. Uh, so if I go here, I've already identified the classes, so I don't need to do it again. So I'll just um, change the CSS. So, you know, so for example, if I say the class is body and background color, I'm changing it this below. And you can see it's already changed. It's as simple as that. The next, I want to change the title. Right. Okay. So the title is changed, and then we will change the editable title. So that's editable title, which is kind of uh, all of these, you know. So all these titles are editable, right? So what we're doing is basically we are changing we are changing the color, we are changing the style, and we are making it centrally aligned, so it looks more pretty, of course. So I knew by going into here, and you see editable title, right? Right. So let's now. So now, because all these are, what it's doing is basically it's changing the color and everything of all the charts also. So we want to be a bit more specific, right? So this one, so all of these were changed to blue, right? And we wanted to keep this to the black or dark blue. So the way we did it is, you see here we are using two classes H1. So this is H1, this heading, and then 159YMUC. So because all of the titles were editable, so we want to identify what's a specific class for these. So if I, for example, go here and inspect, right? So you see here the class CSS 159YMUC. So that's the specific class I use to change the color and the style of these specific titles. Uh, Now, we also want to change the logo. So let's check. So this is the Superset branding. If I inspect here, right? So the class is navbar brand, and what it's doing is basically is picking logo of Superset, as you can see here. And we want to change that. We want to replace that. So what I've done is basically I've picked up a Kia logo from the internet, and we want to apply. So this is now our brand. We want to the height is 50 pixels. Change it to 30, and as you can see, I'm picking up logo from the Wikipedia. So right, so you can easily change the logo to your company logo, right? Uh, Now, so these containers, I want to play with these containers also, right? So maybe you want to change the color of these containers. Maybe you want to make it square rather than the round shape, right? So we can also change that. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the color to green, right? And we are increasing the radius so they are more rounder. And we have changed the shadow also, the padding, and etc. So you need to be familiar with the CSS, to play with it. So again, it doesn't look pretty, but I just wanted to make sure. So there are two or three containers. This is the main chart container, and then there's a background container. As you can see, there's a shadow, and so this is how you overall, anything on this dashboard, you can play with it, you can customize it, and that's important. Maybe for example, for your company, you have a specific branding, right? Most of your branding is in blue color or in white color or in red color, right? So you can change everything accordingly. That's the best thing about Superset. Is very customizable. It's once you know the trick, once you know how to use it, it's um, it's excellent tool, and it's very flexible. So that was today's video. I hope you have learned something new. Make sure you try it at home. Let me know if you struggle. More than happy to help. Do share your customized dashboards and see how they look like. In coming days, what we'll do is we will explore a few more things. We'll go through in detail how to use SQL Lab, and more importantly, will also explore various charts and how to customize charts here. For example, one of the trick or one of the wish lists I already have is to basically have a card chart like Power BI, right, which is not available out of box here. So you can use HTML and CSS to create that chart. So we'll in community we'll explore how to create that chart and how to customize various chart to maybe display slightly different to what they are currently appearing on your dashboard. So I hope it was informative video today, and I hope you enjoyed it. So stay tuned and do subscribe if you want to learn more about Superset. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.